Open houses are absolutely crucial to the real estate industry. Today we're covering 3 different ways to maximize your open houses, not necessarily to sell the listing, but something completely different. So let's talk about that. All right, before we jump into the core 3 things to maximize your open houses, let's talk about something very important. What is the goal of an open house? Now on paper, on the front of it all, the thought process is the goal of an open house is to get people into the house to buy the house. That just makes sense. When you're telling your sellers that that's the first frontal is, hey, I want to get as many people in here as possible to get eyes on the house itself. Whether it's real estate agents or other like buyers, that's the most important thing. The second, that's at least the front image of it. That's what you tell your sellers. The second layer of it all, honestly, is the goal of it is to make your sellers happy. When you are doing your marketing pitch or your listing pitch, oftentimes they ask or you say, I'm going to do an open house this first weekend or multiple weekends after that to drive traffic, eyeballs to the house, etc. That will make your sellers happy. It shows professionalism. It shows you have a plan. It shows you know what you're doing. But actually the third real of the whole part of the open house, at least in my opinion, from my perspective and probably yours, is not necessarily to, I've only sold like 1 or 2 homes truly from an open house. The second thing is that yes, the actual sellers do get happy when I do open houses, but really why I do open houses is to draw in buyers for me or other actual listings for me. That is the real of the open houses, is the fact that you want to get leads into the home to actually start the next thing, whether it's different buyers or different listings. And so today we're covering when some of those core 3 things are actually maximizing your visibility, your money, your time, your usage of the open house. So let's dive into those right now. And the first thing to maximize your open house is actually based on the data collection in your open house. Now, I'm not going to dive into having cookies and smells and music. Those should just be basic understandings of what an open house should be. If the space is awkward, meaning like if it's too silent, bring music, put a little speaker there. If the house smells weird, bring cookies, make this. Basic stuff when it comes to presentation of house. We're not covering those today. There's other YouTube videos for that. What I want to talk about is how to actually collect data appropriately and properly for your open house. And what I mean by that is that people are coming to your open house. Oftentimes, what most agents do is just have a sign-in sheet. Terrible idea, the worst idea. Here's the problem is that and you've already might experience this, is the fact that when you have someone sign in, most likely with a pen or pencil, A, you can't read what they're writing, and secondly, they're probably gonna lie to you. And so if you want to collect good data, there's one way that I found over the course of a decade that works extremely well. And that is using something called instant home updates. Now, all this is I'm going to make a pitch to you, and as you are a buyer coming in the door, and we're going to talk about this. So let's say a buyer or who knows who it is, comes in the door and starts looking around the house. I greet them and say, hey, obviously take a look around the house. There's 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. Here's a sheet on it. Take your time. There's plenty of stuff going on in this house. It's amazing. Great. Awesome. They pop around. Usually about a minute or 2, I'll follow up with them, just kind of check out the house, act as though I'm looking for something. I'd be like, are you looking for a home in the area? And they're like, oh yeah, we're looking for this, and this. Like, oh great. Are you using, and this is what I'll start with, I'll say like, are you using Zillow or Redfin or Realtor.com? They're like, oh yeah, we're using Zillow. I said, interesting enough, usually Zillow or Redfin or Realtor.com are incredibly slow when it comes to notifications. Way too slow. So you are probably missing out on homes that you probably don't even know exist, because by the time that actually go on the market, they might be going off the market, or you don't get notified on your phone. And that's why I made something, that's what I tell them literally, why I made something called instant home updates. So if you want to be like alerted the moment something hits the market, let me know and I'll get you signed up for it so you're not missing anything, because I'd hate for you to miss your dream home just on a base of a simple notification. And like, I think I have like a 70 or 80% rate of like, oh, that sounds great, that sounds awesome. Then what happens is that I go back and I have a laptop or an iPad where they can type out their information. And oftentimes I actually ask them and I type it in for them. And one little phrase that has changed a game a lot for me is I don't say what's your email, I say what's your best email? What's your best phone number? And this way they're like, oh man, I guess I shouldn't. So it works out incredibly well. The reason that I go this direction versus the other direction is that if you're going to have 15 people come into the house and they're all going to give you just kind of half of it's going to be fake, half of it you're going to read, you're left with very little information. There's no real follow-up. There's no there's no data based on that. Adding instant home updates is just a clear, it's a pitch, adding value to say like, hey, I have this thing for you. Do you want to sign up for it? It's completely free. And like, who's going to say no to that? So they sign up for it. You get them logged in. All instant home updates is, you're probably thinking like, wow, Philip, this is amazing. What'd you create? All instant home updates is MLS updates, but it's repackaged and shipped in a different way and sent to, meaning it's given to your buyers or potential listings and to say, I made this for you. They don't know the difference. And so if you tell someone MLS updates, they're like, what is the MLS and what are updates? It means nothing to nobody. They're just words that we use in our industry. If you say instant home updates and you explain the reasons why, instant home updates kind of spells out what it is, and then you explain the reasons why, it's going to be a no-brainer. So if you want to make a pitch, if you want to basically add value to it, use instant home updates. It's a repackaged MLS updates, put them in the system, and then set them for instant notifications because most MLSs have that, and you're good to go. And then obviously do your whole CRM follow-up after that. But that is a great way to get better, clearer data and actual clients and leads versus just letting them sign in on the actual MLS sheet or the sheet on the open house. Whoa. One of the biggest things known in the industry is the fact that it is so challenging oftentimes to create or find leads in real estate. It is hard to find people that are willing to raise their hand, literally saying, I want to buy or sell homes. And that's why I made a guide, a PDF, a book, so to speak, over 100 ways for you to find leads in real estate. Now I know that obviously one size does not fit all. That's why I created the guides inside this guide, basically basing it off of personality styles, whether you want to do social media, not social media, because obviously that's like the big trend forever now, whether you want to do video or not video, whether you want to be in person, or if you're introvert, extrovert, you want to do farmers markets, you want to do postcards, whatever the case is, if you're struggling to find leads and start getting some traction in your real estate business, download that PDF below. It's over 100 different ways of you finding leads. And that's obviously one of the biggest things that I hear about all the time because I work with a ton of agents in the brokerage I work with, plus obviously for years on end. The biggest thing we struggle with is finding leads, finding lead sources. And we don't always have the capital or the cash to buy leads. So we have to create our own. That's why this guide below is so important. Go ahead and download it. It's completely free. Go ahead and download it and let me know of the ways you're using it to basically build your business, or the ways maybe potentially I'm missing inside the guide itself, because there are a bajillion ways of finding leads, but these ones specific are the ones that I've kind of like tried and true, plus kind of battle tested with in my business, plus other agents I work with all the time. So go ahead and download that actual PDF below and let me know how you're using it. And the second easy way to actually maximize your open house potential is actually going door knocking and inviting people to the open house. Now, what I mean by this is, obviously it says what it means, but the reason behind it is because there's no cheaper way to actually go get in front of people than having an open house. Now, what I mean by that is that oftentimes if you're gonna go door knocking or just cold knocking, that's horrible. I would hate that. Anyways, but if you have a reason to, like, hey, I'm doing an open house down the street. We're doing it for this price. Here's the thing. You should definitely come down because they added these certain things to the house. I'm sure you'd be delighted to blah, 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 blah. So get the pitch for it, have people come down. And then the perk of all of it is that when they come through the house, even though they might be looking for a house to buy or sell, at the moment, definitely sell, if they're especially for people down the road, is you sign up for instant home updates. And you say basically like, hey, homes sell quick around here. What do you want to be aware when your neighbors actually get on the market? Because like this house might sell in a day or two. So when you make that pitch in the opposite direction, whether it's a listing or a buyer, depends, you can say, hey, I can set you up for a reverse search, essentially saying that the moment something hits the market, don't you want to be aware when your neighbor's houses sell around the corner for you for like $40,000 more than what you thought it'd be? That's a big deal. So that's how I pitch it. So there's always pitches involved of like things you can offer. So when you go actually do door knocking, super easy because you just want to invite them down to the house and say, here's what's going to happen there, and get them inside the house. It's always fun. It's enjoyable because you get to know the neighbors. And that's the other side of it, is that if you're not looking for buyers necessarily, you're looking for listings. That's the way to do it because they meet you, you're professional, you're great. If you can take their information, fantastic. And then on top of that, they go see the home, they see your professional layout. And a lot of times when they meet you in person and you just keep in contact with them, there's a very high chance that you're gonna get the listing when it comes up in 6 months. And the third easy way to actually maximize your open houses is actually start running a little bit of Facebook ads. Now, I'm gonna make it super easy for you. I would definitely go ahead, if you have a Facebook business page or Instagram page, I would definitely go ahead and boost. There's a little, when you make posts on Instagram or Facebook on the business pages, there's a little boost button. Definitely go ahead and boost those for a couple days prior to the actual open house. Make sure it ends the day before, or like the day of. I should take that back. So make sure it ends the day of, because you don't want to waste too much money, obviously days after the open house. So keep that in mind. And so there might be a little bit of a, like some people might say you run Facebook ads, or if you want to boost. I'm definitely more in the boosting camp. It sounds so stupid, but same concept applies. When you hit the boost button and you kind of go through the process, ask for your credit card as one would. Facebook makes money, Instagram makes money. And then you put obviously the demographic in a sense of like radius. You can't get any more specific than just where you want to put the ad. In real estate world, we are held to the same laws that exist in the physical world as the digital world. So we can't narrow things down to like your credit score, or how much money you make, or how much money you don't make, or this neighborhood or that neighborhood, or ethnicity, or anything like that, obviously. So when you actually boost it, comparison to Facebook ads, the thing about boosting is just that you're taking it and putting it in front of more people in your area. Now, I do admit that Facebook and Instagram know what the post is about, and can't be communicated this way, but they want to maximize your ad dollars in the most effective way because they want you to come back because you see success in it. So what they're going to do is they're going to know it's an open house, and they're going to put it in front of people who are searching for homes. You can't choose to do that, but Facebook and Instagram can, because they're not held to the same laws as we are. So when you boost something, if you write out, obviously open house, the photo, they will put it in front of people that are searching for homes. That is for sure, because they want to maximize the dollars for you, and they want you to come back because, wow, Instagram and Facebook are so successful with ads, and then you do it all over again. So when you run your post on Facebook or Instagram, hit the boost button, put $10, $15 towards it, and you probably honestly will get probably 2 or 4 extra people coming to the open house based on that. You're not going to be able to say like, where'd you come from? Like, I saw your Facebook ad. It's just going to be like, I saw it on Facebook or Instagram. Okay, great. So then no one's going to be able to be that specific, but just know that it is well worthwhile to run ads on Facebook.